Hello, everyone. This is Brendan from the Unchefed podcast. Each week on Unchefed, we unpack a topic regarding the politics and history of our plates in the hope of becoming better eaters. That's Unchefed, available now on your preferred podcast network.
This podcast contains strong language and adult situations and may not be suitable for those who are easily offended.
Welcome to Fuck My Work Life's afternoon break. A quick getaway from your daily grind. Step away from whatever work you're doing, grab your favorite beverage, put your feet up, and enjoy.
Welcome back to another episode of Afternoon Break. I'm Kay.
I'm Jay.
And today's special guest with us is Dan from the Casting Views podcast. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thank you. I'm not doing too bad. It's well, a little tired. We had some people around last night. It's the first kind of drinking session I've had for a while, so I've felt it today. I'm not a huge drinker at the best of times, but yeah.
You need a little hair of the dog, as we call it.
A little hair of the dog.
Makes you feel a little bit better.
yeah.
It's weird how that works.
Well, until the next day. Yeah.
Well,
right, yeah.
Until you think it's the hair of the dog, and then you just drink the whole dog. And the next day starts over the same.
Yeah. You got to break the cycle at some point. Go ahead.
Tell us about your podcast, Casting Views.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are an uncle and nephew hosted podcast. So I'm the uncle. Lou, who couldn't be here tonight, is my nephew. We are a general topic podcast, so we'll talk about anything and everything. But we try to always have a little bit of fun and keep it entertaining. So we tend to not really do the heavy subjects because there'll be other podcasts out there that can do that probably more justice than us. So we got together. We wanted to have a bit of fun doing it, and hopefully have listeners have a bit of fun with us. So we might do some informative subjects. So I think we've done about scammers, cryptocurrency, which we both admit we didn't know much about, and we've recently just done one about unusual medical conditions. So we'll try to be informative or fun, more on the fun side of things, really.
Yeah, I've really been loving your theme months lately too. Different.
Oh, well, that's just to help me plan out ahead. I was finding it a struggle to think of what. We was always like, what do we do next? What do we do next? Because we do think about it literally in the week. Mm-hmm. So I started saying, no, if we do a theme month, I can map out 4 weeks in advance. So yeah, peek behind the curtains there. But yeah, it's a cheat for me.
Yeah, and you do have to do research for those topics too, and that takes time. So it's good to plan ahead.
Yeah, and well, the worst thing is when we come to the show, we've ended up picking the same things. We have to quickly work out who's going to say what. Then, yeah,
Rochambeau for who gets what topic.
Yeah.
So you sent us kind of, I think it was a big hit story from our last season. Got a lot of downloads thanks to the name of it. I think of a little unexpected porn on the job.
Yeah,
not mine.
Yeah, not
me either. I was actually going to say it. I wasn't sure if I could say it again as soon as it's been on, but yeah, that was probably because I remember saying to you, I've worked for it's about 23 years now, and that is probably the one thing that really sticks out in my mind. I mean, it was what was it? It was probably about 2004, 2005. So it was early on. I guess early on in the internet days for work as well. And yeah, like I said, we had this system where we'd extract sales departments' emails, and it was for a auditing firm. And it would strip out the attachments from the emails. You'd have to open up the attachments just to make sure the program hasn't failed. And I clicked on this one, and up popped this hardcore porn scene, and trying to scramble to close it down. But the guy behind me, I heard him giggling, and he said, "Not fast enough." Which is and then I had to open up another one, and it was the same thing. So I said, "But what do we do?" And they said, "No, you've got to send it. We can't take anything out because we can't."
Yeah.
And we said that auditor was probably going to have fun with that case file that night. So But it was just shocking. I mean, I'm no prude, don't get me wrong, but it was just the fact that
Yeah.
this department were just flinging porn around in their emails. Yeah.
You're expecting to see some sort of invoice pop up, and you get that. And yeah. Turn the volume down really fast.
That's not an invoice.
He definitely didn't fix a photocopier either. Yeah.
Yeah. He must have been a plumber.
It's funny too, because you said it was like 2004. So it was before I think people realized that other people can see this stuff, and they're gonna see, especially at work. Like people will have access to what you're sharing at work. Oopsie.
Well, it's like now there's always people saying, "Oh, do you think they're monitoring us at work?" Even nowadays, and it's like, well, back in 2004, we could see what you were looking at in your emails.
Yeah.
So yeah, believe it that they're probably checking what you're doing now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Don't look at porn at work. Come on, there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
I mean, now that people have their phones with them all the time, there's people like looking at, I don't know if it's actual porn, but racy stuff on their phones at work. And you're like,
yeah,
bro, like wait a few hours.
I've been standing next to someone at work, and they're on their phone and flipping through like pictures of chicks and like G-strings. And they're flipping through it. And I'm like,
I can see you.
You're at fucking work, dude. Like, there are cameras everywhere.
It's like you literally just said, can't you wait 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and actually, well, we're down the toilet theme already. That's quicker with me. The thing that always winds me up at work as well, and it could just be me, is when, you know, for a bloke, as you go into the toilet, well, it's probably the same for women, and you hear somebody talking on their toilet in the cubicle.
Mhm.
And it's like, I always find that really off-putting. And it's like, could you really not wait to take that call? Does that person at the other end know that you're you're sitting literally?
Yeah. And you're like, do I flush? Like, I don't want to make their
I don't
call
want to ruin their
weird.
call.
I just start knocking on the door.
Yeah. Just making a lot of loud, rude noises. Oh, sorry. I mean, you're in a bathroom.
I would just let it go.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
I just don't know what goes through people's minds. I would never take a call in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. People are strange. I also don't like it when someone doesn't leave a space, like in a row of stalls. If they're all empty, don't go into the one right next to me, please. Like, skip at least one stall.
Yeah. Maybe they feel comfortable around.
I don't know. It's a weird thing for me. I don't know.
Well, it's like the rule about the urinals and men's urinals as well. It's like, if you're the first one there, you have to go to an end. Don't even think about picking one in the middle. If there's no one else near me, you've got to pick one at least one space away from me. You don't start lining up next to each other unless you have to. And then even then, if you can try wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can hold it a few seconds because you see somebody like shaking it off.
Yeah.
So they're about to go. You wait.
Yeah.
Is there like a rule in men's restrooms, like don't look down or like just look straight ahead when you're at the urinals?
Well, I mean, usually there's partitions.
Oh, okay.
But I've been to bars where
like that,
I've been to bars where there's not, and you know, I mean, I don't think there's a rule.
But would it be weird if the dude next to you just like looked down and like gave you a thumbs up or something?
It would be weird, but you know, it'd also be nice if another dude gave me a thumbs up. And if he gave me a thumbs up, I'd be like, dude, you got a little tiny thing. Because I'm not well endowed at all. But
okay.
I was going to say, if it's a thumb up, I don't mind. Yeah, look away. But if it's going to be a thumb down, keep it to yourself.
He's just like, nope.
Yeah.
That would actually be a funny, like, punked skit or like, just like,
hey,
good job.
Pat him on the.
Well, there's actually, I need to send it to you. There's this sketch show, or it was from years ago, this British comedy show, and they they did a scene like that where it was basically men and it was like filling up the urinals in order, but then they were asking each other to hold, like one would come in with a pint and he'd want to light a cigarette, so he'd say to the guy next to him, "Can you hold my pint?"
Oh,
while he was
God.
lighting a cigarette. Then one would pass the other guy. Then they ended up holding other things. It's funny. I'll have to send it.
I think
I'll have
I've
to send
seen
it
that
to you.
skit before. I think
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
it.
brilliant. Yeah,
That's great.
the unwritten rules. Yeah.
You guys have the best sketch comedy over
Mhm.
there. I swear to God. I was a huge fan of Little Britain. Did you ever watch that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So weird. I love it so much. All right. We've kind of gone off topic from
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, sorry, straight there. Yeah.
So it makes our podcast
I mean,
fun.
we always end up in the bathroom
Yeah.
somehow, I
Exactly.
feel like, on our podcast. So.
This podcast always takes a dive in the toilet.
So you said you had some like kind of grind your gears type things.
Yeah, I was kind of saying I was thinking about my career, and I've had good fortune of working in some of the bigger companies over here. But the one thing, I tend not to get involved too much in office politics, etc. And I'm like, I want to come in, I want to do a good day's work. If there's a good bunch of people, which I've always had the fortune of having as well, I like sort of extending out, to have a little core group of people. But it's often the unfairness or unprofessionalism that really winds me up when all you're trying to do is just get along, earn a paycheck and go home. And for example, this was one, it was a manager, and I'm going to make a caveat because I know a couple of people listen. None of these stories about my current workplace, so I'm getting that out there so I can go in head clear on the day after this is out. But there was I will always try to, if it's sort of flexi hours, I will always try to do the early shift. It suits me. Often I have to commute sort of up to an hour away. So there was a place where I worked at. It was actually the porn place, for want of a better term. And actually that sounds wrong. You could start anywhere between 8 and 10. So you could do 8 till 4, 10 till 6. So I thought, for me, it's perfect. I'll do 8 till 4. I was doing that, and it was fine. Then I was speaking to a colleague of mine, and he says, "Oh, I just spoke to the manager, and she said she wanted to have a word with you." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, 'cause she was always, she was getting annoyed that you're leaving work early." And it's because she was in at 9, so
Oh.
she would be finishing at 5. So because I was leaving beforehand, she was just thinking I was skipping out early without even asking. Or,
Yeah.
so I started getting angry because I'm not necessarily an angry person, but it's, like I said, I always try to do my best. I'm fairly loyal. I'm very loyal, actually, employee. And he goes, "No, don't worry." He goes, "I spoke to her about it." But it was when she was then pointed out, she goes, "Oh, that guy over there, he's always late. He always stays late. He's a conscientious worker." He was probably the person that did the least work in the office. He would walk in at 10 o'clock, do nothing, and then go home sort of a little bit after her. And it's just like the perception thing of someone's doing a better job because the boss sees them, which I think is kind of a weird thing now where we are with COVID and the work from home thing and the trust relation of that.
Yeah.
I wish I had the option to work from home.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, believe me, we deal with the same kind of stuff in our jobs too, where, not everybody pulls the same weight, and it's just,
No.
and those people happen to be the favorites. And you're like,
Yep.
how is that possible?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that grinds my gears is when people realize that they're the favorite, so they do as little as possible and make everyone around them pick up the slack because they're the favorite and they're going to get the praise whether they did the work or not. It makes me want to kick them in the dick.
If I'd have known that then. But then what it does is it turns work into a game then, and I don't want to play a game.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, there was this other place. I started at the same time with this other guy. We were in the same department, different teams. And he would always come up to me each week because he'd want to know what I'm working on. It's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Because he'd then want to try match me or make sure he was at the same level. But what he then did, and now having said that story, I kind of get why he did it, but it was really winding me up as well. And it's like he would wait. His hours depended on when the boss left. So basically, say he was doing 9 till 5, if the boss stayed late and was there till 5:15, he would wait for the boss to leave the car park, and then literally pack up and go.
Oh, jeez.
And it was never the same time. He would just wait for the manager to go, and then he leave himself. And I'm looking back at it now, I was thinking, well, I get why he's doing that, but it's like, do I have to play that game to try and make an impression?
Even though you're probably working just as hard or harder, but just because you're not staying past the boss. Like,
yeah. Well, they got rid of him because he then started lying about. He was saying his girlfriend was in serious health condition and stuff like that. He was needing time off work, and it turned out he was lying.
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, he just disappeared one day.
People are nuts. Like, just the balls some people have. Like, I would never.
But you know, the funny thing is, then about a year later, I went to another company, and I was going through their papers, and I saw this guy's name at the bottom of these documents.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this guy here, is he this high, looks like this? They said, yeah. I said, is he still here? They said, no, we got rid of him because he kept lying about stuff. And I was thinking, really? And well, let me tell you a story. And so, yeah, he was second company in a row. They got rid of him for lying and trying to make things up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this one, it was like one of his family members had fallen off a ladder while going up to fix something on the roof of their house or something.
Jeez.
A grandma died, but like the fourth grandma that's died.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't come in this week. My grandma died. Didn't your grandma die last year? No, my other one. I thought she died 2 years ago.
No, my
No, I
You
have.
know, the other one.
Yeah.
Well, see, my family's weird. I have 7 grandmas.
I mean, he could just listen to our episode with Antonio, and he'll have a new excuse for next time he wants to get out of work.
I shit myself.
Yeah, I listened to that today, actually.
God.
I've only ever worked at a place once where someone, we call it a dirty protest over here. I wondered if you guys called it the same. Yeah, it's a dirty protest.
Well,
we were at a company that were announcing redundancies, and ironically, it was in the ladies' toilet where this happened, which quite surprised me. Yeah, apparently they went in and there it was, right in the middle of the toilet floor. Yeah.
Oh, gee. It's a dirty protest. I love
Nice.
that.
I'm stealing that one.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
I might do that at
here.
work on Monday.
Oh, God.
Come on, I'm gonna have a dirty protest
No.
on work.
Which for me always fills my mind with two things. One, they've had to squat and do it
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's quite dangerous.
Like, what if somebody walks in?
Nah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
So I don't
You
know if
gotta
you
plan
noticed.
that. You gotta
but-
come in real early.
Well, I don't know how the doors work. So we have like 2 doors to get into our bathroom. Like there's one, and then there's, it's kind of like a man trap. There's one, and then you go through another, and that second one, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lock on it.
Is it really?
There's a bolt. Yeah, so you can bolt it shut. So I would just pick the time of day where nobody's on their break and nobody's in there, bolt it shut, cop a squat real quick, and
I don't think I could.
Make your protest and
make my dirty protest. And
I don't think I could actually make that happen just in the middle of the floor. Just God.
I'd like to think if I saw that, there's that scene, that meme of Grandpa Simpson in The Simpsons where he walks into the bar, just turns around and walks straight back out. I can imagine that would be me. I'd literally just walk in. Nope.
yeah,
Not dealing with that. We have other restrooms in the building. I will be going there.
I would do it. I would definitely have I'd get back to my desk and
You
I'd
would not
question
do it.
my life decisions. Like Jesus fucking Christ.
Where am I in my
I am
life?
such a piece of shit.
How did I get to a place where I thought this was an acceptable thing
You just
to
shit
do?
on the bathroom floor, you piece of shit.
I mean, it must feel quite liberating. I mean, but then, I just feel, it's just disgusting. I mean, at what point do you have to get to that? I mean, men's toilets are usually disgusting anyway. I'm going to say that now, but it's like, I couldn't imagine walking in and.
Yeah, but I've heard the women's toilets are even
women
worse.
are just as gross. Yeah.
People
People are just gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a shiny, happy thought.
Now we're back in the toilet again, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the only other thing I had about the kind of unfairness is, again, and I think it's kind of similar to what you were saying as well. So I worked at this place where I got new management in, and so they were new, and there was this project that was ongoing that me and a couple of people working on, and at the end of it, guess who got the credit?
What?
Not the people doing it,
Oh,
Yeah.
the new managers who, yeah, and it's again, it's kind of like that thing about, I get it. There's a hierarchy. The
Mhm.
management will always be higher up, but it's just, again, it's just it's the unfairness. I think that's the thing for me throughout life, not
Yeah.
just work. It's
Yeah.
just, I just hate unfairness.
Oh, totally
I
agree.
mean, I think when there's that hierarchy, it's normal for the upper management to congratulate the lower management on the job that their team did. But if that lower management does not recognize the team that did the work,
Yeah,
they're a
yeah,
piece of shit. And a lot of times they don't. You know,
Which is
it's
just-
like
yeah,
it's like a thank you in passing, like thanks for doing your job, but look at my fucking bonus,
yeah.
you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah. And that's the thing.
that's what gets me.
That's what I
Sorry.
was just. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, in the end, my reward is the pay slip at the end of the month. I get that,
Mhm.
but it's actually, like where I am now, the one thing they do well is there's at the end of each week, you kind of give uh, a happiness rating for the week. It's just
Aw.
about, it's trying to gauge morale.
Mhm.
But you can then also say what hasn't gone well, what has gone well. So it is an opportunity to say, oh, thanks to the FMWL podcast for helping us through this week, or thanks to Dan for helping me on this, or cheers to Sarah, whatever. And it is, when that email pops in to say, oh, you've been thanked by so and so, it's not monetary, but it's a little
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
recognition to say, oh, that person has respected what you've done.
And
Yeah.
sometimes that's all anyone wants is just a recognition of a good job that they've done. It doesn't have to be anything special, or just like just a thank you, or hey, good job on that, can like get you through so much other shit.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
I mean, I agree with you. At the end of the day, we all look at we're all we're not working because this is like what we want to do. We're working because we have bills, and we have, we're working for that paycheck at the end of the week, or every 2 weeks, or however you get paid. And when morale is low, the first thing that people go to is like, oh, well, if they paid me more, I'd be happier. But
It's
you're
not
full
true.
of shit. You
No.
wouldn't be happier. When
Yeah,
morale's
yeah.
high, there's times where money, it doesn't even really matter. Like if they make a living wage and they can live comfortably and be happy at their job, you don't need to worry about throwing them more money whenever you can.
Yeah.
Because they're happy already. And I think that's lost on a lot of people, is like a lot of people, when their workers are unhappy, they're like, oh, we're going to give you a bonus in the middle of the year. And it's like, yeah, but in a month, I'm still going to be pissed and I'm going to fucking hate this place.
or a pizza party.
And also that bonus you're giving me,
yeah.
the government's taking 50% of it.
Yeah.
So now I'm pissed about that shit.
Well, that's the thing. You can never win sometimes. I mean, even as you've got to look at it from a management. There was one place they would do a employee of the month scheme, but you would nominate someone, and it was like you could sometimes have instances where it was, oh, Bob, he basically, the entire company was struck down with an illness, and Bob ran it all himself, and generally he just worked 2 hours a day normally, and he had to work 24 hours a day. And then you'd have, oh, Charlie, he's great, he comes in with a smile on his face and always says hi to me in the morning, and they would win it. And then and there's probably a reason, probably Bob has won it 5 times in a row, but you'd look at that and say, right, so smiling and saying hi is better than running a department or something for a month. And it's, and then, like you said, I'm just trying to get back to the point that yeah, it's sometimes these schemes are done with all the best intention, but they can annoy people. It can go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can't afford rent, but thank you for the ice cream party you gave us in appreciation for our hard work.
Look, I love pizza, and I really enjoyed the pizza party, and I'm definitely going to steal some of these pizzas and take them home. But I'm also like $500 short on my rent this month. So maybe I'll sell this pizza to my neighbors.
Well, if you could send it over here, I'll PayPal you some money. Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want our pizza.
Yeah, we've got some good pizza.
Yeah, we've got good pizza,
but not as good as Italian pizza.
No,
oh
man, we went to Italy. Oh my God.
He ate pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for almost 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, we went to Italy for 3 weeks, and I told her before we went, I was like, "Kay, I'm eating pizza every fucking day. Like that's all I'm eating when we get to Italy." There was like 5 or 6 meals where I did not eat pizza. Everything else,
it feels
pizza.
Like you should be my best friend. It feels like you should be my best friend.
Oh, I mean, we're like brothers from another mother.
Yeah. Where in Italy did you go? Where?
Bologna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. Oh, yeah. I think you did mention. Yeah. No, I love it. I was there just recently, actually. Yeah, and I can eat pizza every day. I mean, I could do that over here anyway, but over there, it's why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, you go into the little breakfast cafes, and it's like pizza is one of the options, and you're like, okay.
Yeah,
pizza.
We would go for breakfast, and they'd be like, "Oh, coffee, pastries," and I was like,
"Pizza?
Is that like pepperoni and ham on that pizza right there? I think I might have that." And it's already cut in a little square and everything, and
exactly.
It's just like, just heat that baby up and give it to me. That's my breakfast.
Bite size. That's just bite size. It's made for eating on the go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have, I don't know, I mean, how long you want this to go. I did have a couple of funnier side of stories as well. But one that it kind of, again, back at the unexpected porn place. So that seemed to do a lot there. That so it was it was like I said, 2004, 2005. Went to work there, and it's next to or it's just across the road almost from a runway from an airport. One of the main airports here, and the company was American owned. And I was talking, I was giving a tour around, and I said, "Oh, so where are all the servers?" And they said, "No, the servers are down in London now," because they said when we got taken over by the American company, they came in, saw that we were under the flight path of airplanes, got scared, understandably, so moved the servers out of the building. So I said, but they were happy to have the people in the building. So they kept the office. And it was like, so the servers got moved to, and I found that just funny because and I get it, right? You got to keep the data secure, but it's like the people they're fine to work in there.
Mm-hmm.
If they get a plane crashed into them, it's fine as long as the servers are safe. Yeah, that puts it into an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, it then just shows, because often people say we are just numbers on a payroll system, and it was just funny because again, I understand it, but it's like when you think it through, they're probably not thinking it through like that, but when you think it through as a new starter, you think, okay,
we can replace the people, we can't replace the servers,
we can't replace the data.
Oh God, it's horrible.
And just on the theme of flying again, I was at this other place, and we were going to Scotland for the weekend. And on the day, I got a phone call, and one of them, they were trying to play a prank on me, saying the flight took off early or something. But I didn't believe them because I knew what they were like. But I was talking to my manager when we landed, and he goes, "Yeah, she was thinking all night about," because I was fairly new to the team. We were thinking all night how she could prank you. And at one point, she wanted to slip like a penknife into my case.
Oh my
God! And I'm like, hold on, and I'm like, there's pranking, and then there's getting me strip searched and detained,
possibly arrested.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. There's a prank, and then there's prison.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I probably wouldn't do well there. So
God, did she ever do any other kind of like crazy pranks to other people?
I don't know. I left the company about 7 months after that. So
Probably a good idea. Someone that could just like even have that thought. Like, maybe
Yeah.
I don't want to work for you.
that's exactly it. It's like, why a knife? Why make at an airport? Again, think things through logically.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. All right. Got any more?
No, I think there's probably more. I could come back another time though.
Absolutely.
Keep some,
Yeah,
but no,
definitely.
they're all roughly the same. It's just sort of sometimes just like what's the word? Just takes on life rather than anything bad or good. But
Yeah.
it's funny sometimes what you see.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have you back on. But for
Yeah, definitely.
now, why don't you let everyone know where they can find your podcast?
Yeah, you can find us pretty much on all the main places. So Spotify, iTunes, Google. I kind of like Good Pods because you can leave comments and ratings, and it is nice to interact with people. So yeah, if you like listening to us on Good Pods, do leave a rating, and I'll say hi. Social media, more active on Twitter, so that's at Casting Views. Yeah, that's where you'll find me mostly day and night. And yeah, drop us an email at castingviewspod@gmail.com.
Well, thank you, Dan, for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
We really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. Yeah.
Everyone, go check out Casting Views. Dan and Lou are great. They're funny. They tackle a lot of topics. So make sure you go check them out. Thanks again, Dan.
Cheers.
Bye, fuckers.
Bye, fuckers. Thank you for joining our afternoon break. If you have a workplace story, email it to fmwlpod@gmail.com or call our rant line at 310-818-3273.
Please follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss out on new episodes. And if you're enjoying the show, take a moment to rate and review.
You can find us on all the socials at FMWLpod. Come say hello and check out all our amazing indie podcast friends. Until next time, bye, fuckers.
I don't know about you, but with a busy work schedule, I never have time to sit down and read. Luckily, there's Newsly. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up articles about the most trending topics on the web and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time ever, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. You can browse articles from topics you choose and just start playing. Follow specific topics from sports, tech, business, science, or Bitcoin. Newsly will find you the latest articles and read them aloud. They even have digital radio. And do you want to know the best part? They have podcasts. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. And you can find our podcast, Fuck My Work Life, there too. Download and try Newsly for free by visiting www.newsly.me or clicking on the link in our show notes. And be sure to use promo code FWL for a 1-month free premium subscription. Stop scrolling and start listening with Newsly.